Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do the rock lights. Like I said before, I want to show you guys the method that I use to run rock lights to the very center bar on these razors and Can-Ams to make them look amazing. At night, that's the perfect spot for the lighting, and the rock lights are gonna look awesome. So I'm gonna show you guys how I did that, the way I drill the holes, how I make it look nice and clean. You won't be able to see the wires like other methods other people are using, and this is just a great way. So let's get started. And as far as the other rock lights, I'm not going into them that much. I'll show you where I mounted them, but I'm not gonna get into them that much because, you know, anybody can mount rock lights. It's not a big deal. The one that people want to know about are the ones on the cage. So let's get to it. Now, before we get started, I want to mention I made an error in the last few videos, so my bad. I thought this cage was made by SDR Motorsports. It's actually not. It's actually made by OC Fabrication. I'm gonna leave a link to their Instagram so you guys can check them out. So my bad on that one. Still a badass cage. It's built very well, and I do recommend a cage like this because just judging by the welds and how it's put together, it's looks very strong. So Chatterbox, I think, got a good deal on the cage and both bumpers. So check them out on their Instagram, and yeah, let's get started. All right, first things first. Now I got all the seats out in this car and the interior covers here. The module is gonna go in the center here, covered up by one of the center console covers. And then as far as the rest of the wiring, if you've seen one of my previous videos, these rock lights are pretty much plug and play with these connectors. So you pretty much gotta route your wires to the center location where the module is gonna be, and that's pretty much it. You know, plug them in and provide power and ground to the module, and you'll be good to go as far as the rock lights. So I'll show you guys the locations of the other rock lights that I already bolted up, but I am gonna go deeply into this and show you guys how I did this because this is what everybody's been asking me on. So the cage on this car, built like most other cages, it's not very difficult to mount or find a location where you're gonna mount your lights. I usually do it in the very center between both bars. Same thing for the back. If you want to, you could go a little bit rearward, a couple inches maybe. That way, for sure, the lights won't affect the driver or affect your passengers while you're driving. I like to have them kind of above your head. That way, whatever way you're looking, you're not gonna be, you know, in the corner of your eye, get blinded by these rock lights. So I chose the center location here. I've already got my holes drilled. I'm not gonna go into drilling holes and how to do that. Quick review: get your smallest bit, drill your first hole, and then move up in bits until you get the correct size you want. Now, most of these holes, I drilled them 5/16. In difficult areas, like the ones where I drill through 2 tubes at once, I go up to 3/8, and I'll show you guys that in just a minute. So this hole here and the front hole are about 5/16, and most of the other ones are 3/8. So the reason you want to drill them 5/16, you want to get the smallest hole you can get in there without the wire rubbing or without, you know, any issues as far as the wire goes. And the smaller the hole, the better. Means you keep the integrity and strength of the cage. So so like I said, just drill a small hole first and then move up the sizes in bits. Take your time, drill slow. When you drill through metal, you gotta drill very slow. You don't want to break one of these bits off in the cage because it's forever gonna be rattling and you're gonna be kicking yourself in the head. Then we'll start focusing on the other holes. So these are both 5/16. Then if we move up here to the very top, we got a 3/8 hole at the very top here. Now, if you're not familiar, this is one tube and this tube is welded to this tube. So that means even if you drill a hole through this side, there's another wall for this tube. So what I do, and this is how I get it, and this is just in here for no reason, I drill the holes at an angle. So I use a smaller bit, but this is a 3/8 hole. It looks a little bit elongated this way, and that's because I drill it at an angle. So with one drill bit or with one line here, you're drilling through both tubes at once. And what that does, it allows you to pass the wire through these tubes and then get it covered up by the roof, and you never ever see the wires when everything's installed. Damn! So that's what everybody has asked me. How did you do that? Why does it look like that? Or why is there no wires? And that's how I do it. I drill it through the top, drill 2 holes, and when you're finished, you hot glue everything and cover it up so no water gets in the tube, obviously. And yeah, it looks so much better. It looks a lot cleaner. Now, if you guys are not familiar, if you go to most of these audio shops, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, it's just this is a cleaner install. The way they do it is just fine. It doesn't, you know, it's the same purpose, but it doesn't look as clean. And what they do, these holes will be exactly the same, but here and here will be different. They will drill a hole on this tube right here, another hole on this tube, and they'll pass the wire through the outside, and you'll be able to see the wiring going from one tube to the other. And like I said, there's no problem with that, and they'll do the same thing on this side. So you'll see multiple times they do that. You'll see that for light bars, they'll do that on the front. I don't like doing it that way for the reason that I want it to look clean. So I didn't drill the holes on the outside, I drilled them through the top, and I think this is the best way to do it if you want a clean install. So this hole is going to be drilled at an angle just like I have it there, 3/8 in size. It will elongate a little bit as you change your angle, as you can see there. And you're going to want to do the same exact thing to this tube. So this tube is also 3/8. It's not as elongated, but you can see, maybe you can see in there. It's gonna be hard to see, but you can see how I drilled through both tubes at once. The string trimmer string is actually run through it, but I drilled through both tubes at once because this is one tube and this tube is welded to this one, so there's two walls you got to go through. So on my car and on this car, the roof covers this hole, so make sure wherever you're drilling your holes, make sure the roof covers it up, and it's not going to be an issue as far as being able to see it. And obviously you can hot glue it at the very end, or silicone it if you want, to keep water from going in there and making noises and unwanted rust. Another thing I wanted to mention, make sure you use a file to file off all the rough edges, or even better, use a deburring tool, which I don't have. Babe, put that on my Amazon wish list. And use a deburring tool to get rid of any burrs, any sharp edges, anything that's going to cause these wires to short out or to get cut, because you don't want to do this over again. So yeah, one hole here, two holes here, and that's going to be for 1 and 2 rock lights. Then you have your hole here that drills through both tubes at once. Same thing with this one. It's going to depend on your cage. So pretty much the wire's going to end up in this tube running down, and there's one hole at the very bottom here, and that's where the wire's going to exit. And the rest is history. The rest is going to be running the wire towards the center, through the center tunnel here, and yeah, you'll pretty much be done as far as the routing. So after you have all your holes drilled up, next is pretty much running the string trimmer string and getting that from one hole to the other, from one section to the next section. So from this one to this one I have a string, and I'm gonna pull this one out, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. And then from this hole to this hole I have another string, and then from this hole to this hole, and then from this hole to the bottom. In different area. Let's get started. I'm gonna show you guys how to run the string trimmer string through the holes. It's really simple. Grab your string trimmer string and point it at the hole you're gonna be going towards, and we'll just shove it in there like that. All right, once you push the weed whacker string fairly in there deep, that's what she said, it's gonna bottom out in this tube. So pretty much the string is in here. It's not closed, but you got to fish it out with one of these. So you use the string, you pretty much grab a hold of it, and it's gonna be hard to see on camera, but there it is right there. And I'm gonna switch you guys to a different angle while I grab my needle nose pliers, these little guys right here, and I pretty much grab the wire, or grab the string. So let's do that now. All right, so that's all there is to it. Once you got your weed whacker string from one end to the other, you're gonna do the same exact thing for the next section. So from here to there, from there to there, and then from there to the very bottom. Once you're done with that, you move on to the next step, which is pretty much running the rock light wiring. So let's do that now. All right, so this is gonna hurt to see, but you're pretty much gonna have to cut the wire and leave a good section, and leave about, I don't know, at least a good 7 inches, 8 inches of length. You're gonna cut it right around here, and you're left with that. But the wire we're gonna run is this. So we're gonna run it from this hole first, and then pull it through with the string up that hole to that one, and so on and so forth. So, all right, to start, you're gonna tape up the wiring to the weed whacker string using electrical tape, and then at every point where there's 2 strings, you're gonna tape these together as well. So we'll tape these up like that, about 5-6 inches. Same thing for this one, but not for this one, and I'll show you guys why in just a second. Well, actually, let me just tell you, the wiring is gonna end up here, and then we're gonna run a separate rock light from here to there, and we're gonna solder the wires at this connection here and shove the wires back through the hole. So that's why we're not continuously pushing that one wiring harness to the front. For one, it's a lot of length, and we could just do it here. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, so I'll get on to taping these ends together, and then we'll run the wire to the tube. All right, so we got the tripod all set up for you guys so you guys can see this, and I got another camera up there. Pretty much push the wire through the tube, and as you're pushing it, and the main thing to do is push it, you steadily guide it. Don't pull it, just guide it. So we'll do that now. It actually goes pretty smooth. Gay! Oh, and there it is. All right, the wire came out here just like that, but we're gonna want to push it back through just a little bit, and then we're gonna get rid of all the slack using this section here. So we'll get rid of all the slack. Just like this. Get rid of all the slack. And there's that. So now the wire is in the tube up to this point, and then we're going to be guiding again, not pulling, but guiding the wiring with the weed whacker string right here from this hole. So we'll keep pushing it in, no homo, and we'll get it going. Eventually it'll come up right here. So now that we got the wiring to this point, we're gonna do the same exact thing again. There's only so many times you can do this, so this is probably about the max amount of times you want to do this, because now we're taking two right angles versus just one, and it's a lot harder for the wiring to pass through like that. But we'll do it one more time just to end up at this hole here where the rear rock light's gonna be. So again, we'll pull the slack out. And then we'll feed the tube one more time. And eventually you'll see it come out right where we want it, which is right there, and boom, we're done. We're in the money. So now that the wiring's there, this is actually gonna power both of our rock lights. So grab your second rock light or your front rock light and pretty much cut it to length. Leave about a foot of excess wiring because that's gonna be in the tube anyways, and you're gonna need to solder some wire in here. So we'll cut this rock light up and we'll run it, and we'll show you guys that in just a second. Well, real quick, if you decide to do this yourself, make sure you get some good cobalt drill bits that are gonna drill through the cage and not give you any issues. I ran these Milwaukee cobalt drill bits and they were awesome. Sorry, my phone's going off. But yeah, get some good quality drill bits, take your time, and yeah, make sure you don't damage or break any of these drill bits inside the cage, because it's gonna be a pain in the ass to get them out. All right, now that we have the rock light ran here, now we end up with two sections of wiring. One coming from this rock light, and the other one coming from what's gonna be our power source down here. And then we're gonna add one more light from the one that we cut earlier, which is gonna be this one. So we're gonna have three sections of wiring. Each of these has about 4 circuits in there. They're small. We're gonna solder them together, shove them back through the hole, and then we'll bolt these rock lights back up, and that'll be it. We'll just have to plug them in, and we'll get you some nice shots. It's gonna be pretty cool. With a sharp knife, you're gonna want to carefully cut the insulation from all 3 of your wirings. There's that. So you'll end up with 1, 2, and you're gonna do the same thing to the third one for the rock light. See here? You're gonna pretty much wire these all together. Blue, 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 red, 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 black, 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 and green, green, green. So I'll show you guys how I do that with a soldering iron. All right, go ahead and remove the insulation about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch from all your wires. Just like this. Be very careful. You don't want to damage these wires or, you know, damage the copper or the wiring inside. Just take the insulation off. Be very careful. Take your time. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is gonna pretty much match up the colors. So on these two wire sections that are coming out of the tube, you'll match up the colors like this one, red with red, and we'll twist them together. Same thing with the other three, black with black, green with green, and blue with blue. All right, so now you got your wires twisted up. Wanna go ahead and grab some heat shrink, put it over the wire from the rock light. So go ahead and we'll use red on this situation. We'll put it over the red. So with the heat shrink on there, grab your wire. In this case, we're gonna do the red one first. We'll twist these together and let that hang. And we'll grab your soldering iron and pretty much just solder these wires up. Not that big of a deal. So once the wires all soldered together, and you know you're gonna have a good connection, you put your heat shrink over the top of it, and you grab a torch or a heat gun, and you just melt that up. And there, it's a good secure fit. Well, it's not gonna get water in there. It's nice and tight, it's not gonna come apart, and you never have to worry about this coming apart while you're riding. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest of the 4 wires, then we'll get on to mounting the rock lights. Alright, so we're gonna wrap the rest of it with electrical tape just to keep it nice and tight and secure. We want this thing to not ever come apart. We never want to do this again. At least not to this car. So do that right there. Cut that off. And the rest is pretty much simple. Shove the wires back through the tube. So we'll shove it together just like that. We can even pull them to one side if we have to. And that's gonna pretty much be it. You got a rock light there. Same for this side. Run all the excess wire back to the tube. We're gonna push it all the way as far as we can, get some hot glue, and then that'll be it. We'll hot glue the holes to keep the wires from moving and catching on the hole or any jagged edges. We'll do the same thing for all the holes. Shove some hot glue down there, make sure they're ready to go, and make sure everything is gonna be watertight. We don't want water going into the tubes, and we'll be done. So I'll mount the screws, run some glue, and hopefully wait for the nighttime and show you guys some night footage. Make sure you glue up all of the holes. You don't want the water getting in, remember. Alright, rock lights work. This one's not Bluetooth, it's actually control. Pretty cool. Green, blue, purple, red, blue. And we'll get more footage when it gets a little bit darker. So check it out. Alright, those are all wired up. I want to show you guys where I mounted the other lights. This one, and obviously I still got some zip tying and I got to cover those wires up. This is going to be mounted here on the tube, kind of facing at an angle down towards the wheel. So that's going to shine up on the light real good. Same thing on the other side. And in the front, same similar setup. The light's kind of pointing rearward a little bit, but it's going to shine in this general direction. All this is going to glow. It's going to look good. And then last but not least, which I think makes it even better, is going to be the front grille area here. I put a light right at the bottom here facing up, so when you're looking at it from this angle here, it's gonna face up. The whole front grille is gonna light up, and the RZR is gonna look pretty mean. So pretty dope. We're gonna wait till it gets a little bit darker, and then I'm gonna put the roof back on, obviously, and then we'll get some footage for you guys to check out of the rock lights. Like I said, this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. If you guys got any tips or tricks that I might have been able to use in this situation, let me know. Comment down below. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. But anyways, check out the footage. All right, guys. Video does not do this car justice. It looks freaking amazing. So the rock lights on all 4 corners, all 4 wheels. Then we have the one behind the grill. Looks awesome. But what makes this car and what sets it off, and it's hard to see on camera, but the way that all the seats light up with the colors because of these rock lights, it just looks awesome. So green, and there's like a purplish color, which is probably what Chatterbox is gonna run them at. Dude, it lights up a lot. So if you're with your boys and you need some light in the back or in the front, 2 rock lights can pretty much do the job for that. Now the floor lighting isn't perfect, so if you drop something on the floor, you're not gonna be able to find that very easy. But I mean, man, that's it looks pretty damn good. So that's the seats, that's the rock lights in the cage, the best spot to put them. I showed you guys how to do that. All right, so I'm gonna turn on the 5150 whip that I also wired up today, and the chase light that I wired up from the other day, and then yeah, get the full effect here. So I installed these seats too. Not sure what brand this is. If anybody knows, my boy bought these at Burt's Mega Mall. I guess it's like Burt's brand, but there's no logos on it anywhere. Not sure who makes them for Burt's, but they're pretty nice. They're pretty comfy. It did raise the seat position up a little bit, so let's see how he likes it, because he's a little bit taller than me. So yeah, but damn, let's turn on the other ones and see what the rest of this looks like. All right, well, there it is. All the lights are on. He's got his light bar up top. Not sure what size that is, but it's a cool little light bar, probably 40 inch light bar. The rock light's going off. That's a 5150 regular Bluetooth RGB whip, not their 187 series, but definitely a good whip. I've had them, and I'm definitely happy with them. The chase light by X-Brite, like we did in the other video. I love these chase lights. They work awesome, and I don't feel you should spend more than 150 bucks on a chase light, and these are about 100 bucks. So you guys should really check them out if you're looking to put a chase light on your car. Also, the blue should be on. There we go. So when the car's on, the blue will be on. So damn, it just looks awesome at night. It's gonna be a freaking blast. So hopefully we'll do a night rip soon, and we'll get this car out there to show off all the lights, because now it's on par with mine, because I got the same setup. I got 2 whips, rock lights, same exact way. The chase light, I have the same chase light, and I also have a light bar up top. All right, so there it is. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of the rock light install. We're gonna do a full overview of this car in another video. I still gotta do some seats and some radius rods, but other than that, we're pretty much done. So thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and see you guys on the next time.